to life with shocking realism. It was a perilous journey through hell turned upside down. It was also a harrowing experience for its real-life stars.
Hey, camera.
But even more challenging was producer Irwin Allen's struggle to bring this epic story to the big screen. It was a fight he almost lost.
The film very nearly became the film that never was.
A battle against the odds, on screen and off.
You raise your hand, those that are going to get killed, raise your hand.
On Backstory, the Poseidon Adventure.
Oh my God.
More than 3 decades after its release, the Poseidon Adventure still stands as the prototype for the big-budget disaster movie. But it was a film that almost didn't get made at all.
Margaret, call a production meeting. Full staff, please.
Yes, sir, right away.
In 1969, Irwin Allen was a hugely popular television producer and a showman in the old Hollywood tradition. He loved fantasy, spectacle, and all the special effects and gadgetry that could bring big-screen movie magic to television.
I would say the 2 words that you associate most with Irwin: give me more and make it bigger. More, more, more.
And he was like a kid. Look, he just loved it all.
But television wasn't big enough to hold Irwin Allen's cinematic vision. The prolific producer now sought to return to his first love, feature films. Scouring bookshelves for available properties, he soon found the movie project of his dreams, Paul Gallico's best-selling novel, The Poseidon Adventure, the terrifying tale of a luxury ocean liner that capsizes after being hit by a 90-foot tidal wave. The story was classic Irwin Allen. It started off with a spectacular disaster and then followed the desperate struggle of 10 survivors as they climbed their way up to the bottom of the ship.
He used to call it the Walter Mitty syndrome. You take an ordinary person and put them in an extraordinary situation. And if they rise to the situation and overcome it, that's what every one of us would like to think that we could do.
Allen envisioned the Poseidon Adventure as a grand-scale Hollywood epic with an all-star cast and sensational special effects.
Irwin always thought he could do anything. So, you know, that didn't surprise me too much.
But despite Irwin Allen's confidence in the Poseidon Adventure, his home studio, 20th Century Fox, was reluctant to finance the project. Audiences now seem to prefer smaller and more intimate character-driven films. A star-studded spectacle like the Poseidon Adventure was considered a thing of the past, and the project was quickly known around Hollywood as Irwin's Folly.
Nothing like this had been done before. And everybody was telling Irwin, you can't do that. There's no way you can do it. And he said, I know I can do it.
After nearly 2 years of struggle, Irwin was given the green light for his project. Armed with a tight $5 million budget, he ordered that meticulous storyboards be made. Every single shot and every penny spent had to be carefully planned in advance. Irwin also bucked current casting trends, passing over the actors considered Hollywood's hottest new properties. Instead, he assembled a dream team of seasoned veterans. Among them were Academy Award winners Ernest Borgnine.
Who do you think you are, God himself?
Red Buttons.
Don't think of anything but the latter.
Jack Albertson.
We're gonna come out of this. All of us.
And Shelley Winters.
A fat woman like me can't climb.
In fact, Irwin's only concession to the industry trend would be the casting of Gene Hackman in the pivotal role of the preacher who doubts his faith. Hackman's star-making turn in The French Connection had already made him an odds-on favorite to win that year's Best Actor Oscar, and Irwin was eager to welcome him aboard.
He surrounded himself with the best of people, and he went for talent. Even if they had been on the top and had slipped a little, his premise was get a familiar face.
To provide balance to Irwin's passion for action and spectacle, Fox President Gordon Stolberg ordered that director Ronald Neame be brought on board.
Because I did give a solemn warning to every member of the cast. I said, now look, before the film is over, you're all gonna hate my guts, but I can't help it.
A filmmaker known for his sensitive direction of intimate human dramas, Neame was still riding high on his recent success with the critically acclaimed film The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie.
I came over and I said I'd stay 6 weeks and see what could be done, and began to like Irwin, and Irwin began to put up with me. And so one thought, all right, the characters are somewhat on the cardboardy side. It's all action stuff, and I like directing actors in more subtle scenes. However, why not?
Another Oscar winner, Sterling Silliphant, was brought in to add depth and dimension to the story's human characters. He would also have to master the logistical challenges of making the story's fantastic premise believable and cinematically possible. With script, cast, and director in place, Irwin Allen was confident that the Poseidon adventure would be an enormous hit, but what he didn't count on was that his biggest challenge yet would be the obstacle placed in front of him by his home studio. 20th Century Fox was drowning in red ink, following a recent string of musical disappointments. Newly installed studio chief Dennis Stanfill was looking to cut costs wherever possible. The Poseidon Adventure's $5 million budget was an easy target. With just 2 weeks to go before the commencement of principal photography, studio president Gordon Stolberg summoned an unsuspecting Irwin Allen to his office.
As Irwin told the story many times that I had heard, he said, before my fanny hit the cushion, Gordon said, by the way, I'm canceling your movie.
He said, we've got to make it. He said, no, we're not going to make the film. It's going to be scrapped. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Fox didn't want to do it. They didn't want to go for a $5 million budget, I understand.
And Irwin was in shock, I think, because they had already gone into building the sets and budgeting and everything. It was all done.
And Irwin went back to his office crying.
But Hollywood's master showman had accomplished the impossible before, and he refused to give up without a fight. Irwin convinced Stolberg and Stanfill to guarantee half of the $5 million he needed. In exchange, he promised to find the other $2.5 million himself and find it fast.
He goes across the street to Hillcrest Country Club, where Cheryl Corwin and Steve Brodie, two of his old pals, were playing gin rummy.
And said, hey, you guys, would you guarantee with me $2.5 million? And they said, yes, by all means, but don't interrupt our gin rummy game, if you please.
Miraculously, Irwin's nick-of-time effort to save his pet project paid off. But now, the producer faced yet another challenge. The Poseidon Adventure was once again ship-shape and would launch on schedule. But would Irwin's folly make Irwin Allen a Hollywood legend? Or would it leave him a laughingstock?
Let me get speed, gentlemen. Speed, camera.
When Backstory returns, Irwin Allen puts his reputation on the line and puts the Poseidon cast through the most grueling experience of their careers.
Sometimes I feel a little bit like the guy on the Caine Mutiny, like Queeg. I think I'm losing my marbles completely.
Shooting on the Poseidon Adventure began in April of 1972. Irwin Allen had beat the odds and was full speed ahead on the greatest and most complex undertaking of his life. The film's initial pre-capsizing scenes were filmed in Long Beach, California, in the luxurious quarters of the Queen Mary.
The Queen Mary, of course, was a godsend to us because all that storm stuff is shot on the Queen Mary. And we were very careful to always have the camera on a crane separate from the ship, so that by doing this with the camera and this and this and this, we were able to put the Queen Mary to sea in a storm when she was a solid rock of Gibraltar in Long Beach. And with the aid of great big Ritter fans and fire hoses, we really did create a splendid storm sequence. Irwin said, Ronnie, you're rocking the ship too much, it'll be dreadful. And to a certain extent, he wanted to look over my shoulder. But I was in a very strong position. I had been brought in by the president of the company.